If you're tired of waking up and looking in the mirror and seeing puffiness right here on the upper eyelids, today's video is for you. Definitely a frustrating issue, and surprisingly, it's very, very common. Yet almost every video that you see out there doesn't even address this area, just the under eye puffiness. That's what we're always hearing about. So when you're looking for solutions on this, you're not imagining things. A lot of times they just aren't there. Now, while the subject of eye puffiness, both upper and lower eyelid, may seem similar, the puffiness on your upper eyelids is really a completely different story. Many of you have even told me that you've tried under eye creams and depuffers on your upper eyelids, and it only seems to make them worse. And there's a clear scientific reason for that. So today we're going to drop all that skincare marketing hype and the products that don't work. Instead, we're going to tackle the real biological reasons that we get puffy upper eyelids. And then I'm going to break down the science of why this happens and demonstrate what you can actually do that will work to help improve this area. I'm going to demonstrate a targeted lymphatic drainage technique, an exercise, if you will, that you can follow along and do with me, that's designed to help release the fluid buildup just in this area of the eye, offering you a real mechanical way to depuff your upper eyelids. And you're gonna love what I'm sharing with you today because it can take the area of your eyes from looking like this to this. So let's jump into it. Now, quickly, there are a lot of you that are new, and if you are new and not familiar with who I am and my channel, I'm Chris Gibson, a skincare expert. I've been doing skincare for over 39 years, 40 years this year, helping folks like you find skincare solutions that will work for them, not empty your wallet, and not do you more harm than good. So if that's the kind of content you've been looking for here on YouTube, I hope you stick around and subscribe. But let's jump into this. So what actually is the difference between the puffiness you get under your eyes and the puffiness that shows up here above your eye? Well, they can share some common causes like fluid retention that we just talked about, and both of these areas can have extra fat under the tissue, but the primary drivers of why we get puffiness in each of these areas around the eyes is actually different. Under eye bags are often a combination of lymph fluid, yes, but also forward-leaning orbital fat pads just above the cheekbone and under the lower lid. As we get older, the thin skin just underneath the eye loosens and allows those fat pads to lean even further forward, giving that little pinched skin area just under each eye above the cheekbone. But the upper eyelid has a different set of mechanisms affecting the way it looks. That could be excess skin, again, some retention of fluid just in these areas, but more often than not, it's a weakening of the muscle that sits right on the orbital bone and holds your eye skin in place. So let's quickly get into the science because understanding how this all works is key to fixing the problem. First, let's talk about the fluid buildup because it happens to all of us, and especially when we're tired of not getting enough sleep, or we've been sick, or we constantly have allergies where we're rubbing our eyes and our eyes are irritated. The skin around these areas, both upper and lower lid areas, is very, very thin, has very few oil glands, tends to dry out as we get older. And of course, as we all know, it has a tendency to crinkle and wrinkle because of all the dynamic wrinkles that happen around the eye area. Over time, they become static wrinkles and stick around, and nobody likes that. And this area of the face has fewer tiny little capillaries to bring nutrients and oxygen to that area. So we have a slowdown of circulation, which isn't helping anything, and stop supporting that very thin layer of elastin collagen in this area. And your lymphatic system, unlike your circulatory system, is very, very passive. And a lot of times when fluid builds up in a certain area with gravity and loose skin, it's very difficult to get it to go back or away or displace it. So to quickly recap, all of those three issues combine together to create a perfect storm to give you puffy upper eyelids. And just targeting one of these issues might not give you the results that you're actually looking for. And that is why when we apply topical eye creams to the upper eye area, often we don't get any sort of results whatsoever. So now let's talk about the solution: targeted drainage of that upper eye area where that lymph fluid has gathered, and an exercise routine to wake up circulation and activate those muscles and strengthen them so they can lift and hold everything up in place, making you look years younger. But before we begin, a few rules. You always want to start with very clean hands whenever you're working the skin around your eyes. And I could do a whole video on problems you can have if you have bacteria on your fingertips when you're massaging the eye area We won't get into all that in this video. So if you need to pause the video and go wash your hands, that's great. Make sure they're clean before we start the steps in today's video. The second rule is we're never going to tug or stretch the skin. We want to make sure that we're not doing that. This is, again, very delicate skin around the eyes, and stretching it isn't going to help anything. So no dragging and no pulling on the eye area. What we want to do to help avoid massaging dry skin is use an eye-appropriate serum or a facial oil. And believe it or not, there are many eye-appropriate oils that are fine. Jojoba is a great oil. Almond oil, olive oil is great. Not so much a fan of coconut oil because it's a little bit thick. And some people like to use castor oil, again, a little bit thick, can lead to some pulling and stretching. So these thinner, lighter viscosity oils actually work much better for the eye area. So the routine I'm giving you here today breaks down into 3 steps: activation, drainage of the lymph fluid, and of course, the exercise itself. So this first step, activation, is going to be a little surprising to you because we're not actually going to be touching the eyes just yet. We're going to work on the entire lymphatic system from the neck up to get it moving, to get that fluid being pulled back out from underneath the skin in all areas. So you may even notice an improvement in puffiness in other areas on your face if that's something that you have. A lot of people have the marionette lines. They don't like those. Smile lines, laugh lines, what do you want to call them? And sometimes lymph fluid from the eye pools right here and makes them more noticeable. So don't be surprised if doing this, and that's an area you have an issue with, that improves as well. Again, the idea here is to get the lymphatic system moving. So I'm going to apply a few drops of oil to my fingertips, not much, just enough to make them frictionless. The goal here again is to get things moving through the major lymphatic draining pathways. So we're going to start with the collarbone just at the bottom of the neck, which I know is a little bit hard to see with this scrub top on, but you get the idea. The collarbone right here. You're going to take 2 or 3 fingers, whichever you choose, and put them in that little hollow right over the clavicle, and then you're going to gently press down for just a second and release. We're going to do this 10 times. That was the first one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And the pressure you're using is just enough to move the skin, not any deeper or harder. And what this process that we just did does is begin to encourage the flow of the lymphatic system, again, pulling that extra fluid out of the places on your face. Next, we're going to move up to the sides of the neck, and we're going to do some sweeping circular motions to get this pathway activated as well. Starting just behind the earlobe, we're going to massage circular and go down toward those hollows again at the bottom of the neck. And we want to do this 5 times on each side. So that's 2, back up behind my earlobes, 3, back up, 4, back up, 5. Now we're going to target the upper eye area with an exercise to improve the lymph drainage there. So I'm going to put a couple more drops of oil on my fingertips to make them absolutely frictionless. And with this exercise, we're going to start with the center point of your brow bone just under your eyebrow. And we're going to make 5 tiny circular motions as we move our fingers toward our temple, massaging this lymph area to get it to activate and drain. So you just take your fingers, put it right there, tiny little circles, very light, very, very light. Again, we don't want to stretch or tug at the skin. You should just be gliding across. Now your skin's going to move some as you do this. And we're going to do this exercise 5 times. So that was 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to switch to an exercise that activates the muscle I talked about earlier, the orbicularis oculi. That's this muscle that's right here along your brow bone. And for this exercise, we're going to take our fingertips, place them on that area of the eye, right on the brow bone, right where your eyebrow would be, pressing firmly. And we're going to lower our upper lid like we're going to blink, but very slowly. And we're going to hold that for a count of 5. And we're going to do this 5 times. So place your fingertips right above that muscle, right on that brow bone, just gently. Then lower your upper eyelid for a count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now we're going to apply one final sweeping, gentle sweeping motion across this area of the eye. And we're going to place our fingers again on that orbital bone. It's easier to use your ring finger. And then we're going to gently sweep from this corner of the eye all the way to the temple, lightly, gently, not stretching or pulling the skin. So if you need more oil on your fingers or serum, be sure to apply that. This gives the lymphatic system that final nudge it needs to pull that fluid away and reabsorb it and lift and tighten the skin of your eye. And if you're someone that deals with hooded eyelids, this exercise is amazing for strengthening that area and lifting that eyelid back up. Again, we will do this simple exercise 5 times right here, just gently sweeping it across. Just gently. 2, 3. This should be on the orbital bone, not on your eyelid itself. 4 and 5. And I'm just going to do one more, 6 for good measure, because that's how I am. And all done. Now that's the whole routine. It might seem a little complex. You might have to practice this a few times to get it right, but really it's just a few very simple steps. Many people see a noticeable improvement the very first day they do this, but done daily or at least every other day as you move through the days and weeks, this area of the eye should become more lifted, less prone to fluid accumulation, giving you a much younger, brighter, and attentive look, and not that sleepy, tired, puffy look we often see around our eyes as we get older. Now, I hope you found today's video on how to lift and tighten the upper eyelid area from sluggish lymph drainage. If you did enjoy the video and learn something, please like it, share it out. Let me know in the comments below what your results are after you try these exercises. And for even more ways to roll back that clock on skin and body aging, be sure to check out this video that I picked out for you next. Thank you so much for watching today and supporting my work. I really, really appreciate you. That said, stay beautiful, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you over on that next video.